The teller looked at my ID, then at my card, and then back at my face. She did it twice before finally asking the question that changed everything. Your husband really didn't tell you? Just 3 days earlier, I had married Nathan Coleman, a tired single dad who drove an old, rusty Ford with a cracked bumper. He was the same man I had once given a tire discount coupon to. When Nathan handed me his debit card and told me to buy whatever I wanted, I laughed and asked him which account the card was connected to. He simply said, ours. Now I was standing inside a bank during my lunch break, staring at a screen that showed millions of dollars, sitting in an account under my brand new married name. My mind could not understand what my eyes were seeing. I called Nathan from the parking lot, my voice shaking. He immediately knew something was wrong. He told me not to go anywhere and said he was coming. 20 minutes later, that same broken-down Ford pulled into the parking lot, and the richest man I apparently knew climbed into my passenger seat wearing a shirt I had bought for him on clearance. I looked at him and told him to start talking. Slowly, the truth finally came out. His father had built a huge real estate business many years ago. Warehouses had been turned into shopping centers. Medical buildings had been built across 2 states. And Nathan owned the controlling share. His part was worth 8 figures. Nathan had planned to tell me everything only after the wedding, after it was too late for me to simply walk away because of what I had learned. But the money was not even the worst part. What hurt more was discovering that his mother and sister had known everything from the beginning. They had known I was marrying Nathan without knowing the truth. At Sunday dinner, his sister casually mentioned that the secret was finally out. She said it as if my ignorance had been some family joke they had all been sharing for months. His mother never directly called me a gold digger. Instead, she gave me a small, tight smile and asked if I still planned to keep teaching now that things had changed. As though my entire identity was supposed to disappear the moment I discovered how much money my husband had. I looked at her and asked directly if there was something she actually wanted to say to me. The entire table suddenly became silent. Then I heard the sentence that truly broke my heart. I learned that during a private family meeting, Nathan's sister had asked him whether I really knew nothing about the money before our wedding. Nathan had hesitated for only 2 seconds before answering no. 2 seconds. That was all it took for my husband to wonder whether I had been lying to him. That night, I packed a bag and left. As I walked down the stairs, his daughter Lily found me. She asked if I was still her stepmom or if I wasn't going to live there anymore. I hugged her and promised her that none of this was her fault. Nathan tried to fix everything in the only way he seemed to understand. He offered to pay my debts, buy me a new car, and give me anything I needed. Anything except the truth. I told him he kept trying to solve the one problem we never had. Finally, he told me about his first marriage. He explained how his family had never trusted his ex-wife from the very beginning. He had stayed quiet instead of standing up for her. He called it keeping the peace. I told him that staying neutral was not the same as being innocent. Sometimes staying silent simply means choosing the side that requires the least courage from you. Then his mother asked me to meet her at a quiet restaurant. She placed a leather folder on the table and pushed it toward me. Inside was a formal offer, a large amount of money in exchange for my signature, giving up any future claims on the family assets. They wanted to buy my silence. They wanted to buy my distance. For a moment, I almost decided not to tell Nathan. I told myself that maybe I was protecting him from another family conflict. But then my friend pointed something out. I was doing exactly what I had left Nathan for. So I finally showed him the folder. He was furious. But not with me. He was angry at his mother. And for the first time, Nathan and I sat together without either of us trying to win the argument. He started therapy. He created boundaries with his family and refused to let them discuss me behind my back. We also began couples counseling. And during one of those sessions, Nathan finally admitted something important. His silence had never really been about protecting me. It had been about protecting himself from being truly known. 3 months later, I moved back home. Not because Nathan begged me to return. I came back because he had finally stopped needing to beg. Eventually, the old Ford died. And only after that did Nathan tell me why he had held onto that car for so many years. It had belonged to his late father. It was the last car they had shared before his father passed away. It was also the car Lily remembered riding in when she was a little girl. Suddenly, the whole disguise made sense. It was not about deception. It was about grief. I never used that debit card for anything extravagant. Instead, I used it to buy a scratched, second-hand wooden table from an estate sale, because apparently my taste had never been about showing off. Looking back now, the money was never really the story. It was simply the spark that revealed everything underneath. It exposed Nathan's fear. It exposed his family's suspicion. And it exposed my own quiet habit of accepting secrecy when it felt convenient. We are still married. Not because I proved that I wasn't interested in his fortune. We stayed together because Nathan finally stopped treating trust like something that had to be guarded like money. And I learned that independence does not mean refusing everything someone offers you. Real independence means being free to say yes or no without losing your dignity either way. Nathan still asks me why I said yes to that very first coffee. I always tell him the truth. I thought, why not? He hates that answer every single time. And I laugh every single time too. Because years later, after knowing exactly what he had to make the choice all over again. I had to decide whether I would say yes one more time. That second yes was different. This time, I knew everything, and I chose him with my eyes completely open. That was the yes that truly mattered. And I would choose it again without hesitation.